So my name is Erik Mattson, and this is my build. It's a contemporary remodel. As we start out, what we've got here is we've got a 1960s split-level home. This is how our home currently looks. It's all original shag, all original 60s linoleum. And so we've been trying to reimagine the home and say, what would we want to do with it? And so the first problem we had is this entrance here. It's a very specific look, and it's hard to do something with that. And so what we decided to do is actually move the front of the house to the back side. So instead of the front being over here, the front door will be here, because we've got it, the house doesn't face the road. It faces the road is right here. And so in doing that, it really allowed us to open up the architecture. What we've got is we've got an addition. The addition of the house starts here, and if you see on the main model, the ridge line is the edge of this house here. And so what we're doing is we're lifting the roofs, putting a shed roof on that, and then outdoor living. So it's been really fun.
These are both excellent Lego models, but I think what makes these so interesting as well is the fact that you're kind of using this with the architect, right, that's working on the house to kind of explore the different options and figure out how it's coming together.
Exactly. You know, so oftentimes Lego is thought of as a kid's toy or whatever, and this really has been a medium through which I can work with the architects to see exactly what we're talking about. And interact with Lego in a different way. You know, we'll come up with the stairs, for example. We started with those, and they were far too big, and it looked great on paper. But then as I built it, I realized they're massive, and the proportions weren't right. Another big one, if you see the roof here, it was going to go all the way down past the garage, and it looked great, you know, because. It seemed to be a good idea because it provided a good wind screen or a rain screen, but when we built it, it looked like a tarmac, and so we had to change up the roof lines. So there have been lots of examples of that. And then, of course, as we look at the interiors, I'd build something, and my wife would say, "Nope, that's not right." So we'd build it again. And so this isn't necessarily the biggest build I've done, but it's far and away. I spent more time on this one just because there's so many things I have to get right. So many different people that it has to work structurally, it has to work aesthetically, has to please all of the different family members that are going to be living here. And so it's been fun.
Yeah. So can you take the roofs off and show the details inside, or?
I can, but then because the lighting is all in the roof. Okay. Maybe we could do a second shoot, and I can take them off, but I'd rather not at the moment.
No, that makes sense. You don't want to mess it all up, right. Sure. But I think you can even see through the windows in here. Is this going to be the Lego room?
This is going to be the Lego room. So I had a bunch of buddies from my lug that we were overbuilding, and we're working in my studio, and one of my friends came and he said, "Wait, how are we going to get this down those stairs and outside?" We hadn't even thought logistics of that. We just started going. And so we're real excited on this because it's an old garage. I get to keep the garage door. And so this was inspired partly by my friends as we built. So
yeah, and you're really trying to figure out kind of the practical way to do all this stuff, which is where the Lego comes in so nicely.
Exactly.
So then talk about some of the pieces you used in here, because, I mean, some of this is little tiny plates stacked on top. I don't even know how many thousands of those you have in the build there. So you've got a very parts-intensive build here.
Yeah, the most parts-intensive for sure is the 1x2 and 1x4 orange plate. What I really like is there's two tones in that plate, and so it gives it a more natural look. And by stacking plates versus the brick, it starts to look like wood. You see, there's some more imperfections there, and so
you've got this really high build up here. What's that all like inside there, kind of keeping the structure all together?
You know, each of these they're modularly. So I've got plates down on the bottom, base plates, and each of these have their own structure. There's probably 20 different pieces that just sit right down on top of the plates. I've got a whole map of where they sit. And so, yeah.
And you mentioned the lighting earlier. Is that all lighting that kind of works well with Lego? Is that some Lego-related lighting?
Yeah, it's all brick stuff. And I was very intimidated by how do you start. But they did a great job of creating a custom plan for me, and it's been real easy.
So how is the project coming along then? Is this pretty much its final form at this point, or where is that in the process?
We have construction documents and are going for permits here pretty quick. So.
Okay, sounds good. So it sounds like it's pretty much set to go then. That's really awesome. So I'm so glad it's worked out for you, and it's really inspired this great Lego model as well, which I think everyone at the show is definitely appreciating.
It's actually neat. There's each stud is 6 inches, and so it's a different scale, but it works really well for buildings, for building houses. Part of the reason for that is I can have one wall, so my walls may be a foot thick, but I can have one color on one side and a different on the other, so I can have each room will have its own colored wall or whatever. So
works really well. So thank you so much for taking us through it all. Appreciate it.
Sure thing. Thank you.